Hey, football fans, welcome into another episode of Winning Bets. This is, of course, our show where we put on, it's called Between the Posts, where we look at all the Premier League games going on this week. And I'm Jason Mattis. He's Matt. How's it going, man?
It's going great. How are your holidays, Jason?
My holidays were good. Unfortunately, kept it generally speaking to the, family of four here, but doesn't mean we didn't have a good time. It was fun to see my son really enjoy Christmas for the first time. You had a good time?
Yeah. Were you able to avoid COVID? Because the super spreading has been insane recently.
When you only stick to the family of four, sure you can avoid it. We've been bunkered down. My wife's a doctor and she's kept us pretty much in the house.
That's impressive.
So, but yeah, no, it's been a while since we've been in here. I've obviously missed the show and missed talking Premier League soccer with you guys. We normally do our 90-second recap. We'll just scrap that this week because it's been so long. I've probably made hundreds of bets since that last show. Don't even remember it. I imagine you're probably in the same boat. Let's do this show. Let's get it on because I see your jersey right there. You're ready to get on to this Liverpool Arsenal game, so let's not hold it up.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. I can't wait for the lineups to drop here in about an hour 45.
That's a great point there that you mentioned the lineups, because in this video description, I've got a link that includes every Premier League club and which players were on international duty for this Africa Cup of Nations. So make sure you check out that link in this video. Obviously, Matt mentions it right there. I mean, you got to see this lineup this afternoon for Liverpool. I still don't understand. I guess did the FA punish Liverpool by getting it postponed by giving the second leg to Arsenal? Because whoever is at home, the second leg was that like their punishment for postponing the first leg? I don't get it.
I do not get that at all. I have never seen something like that. I mean, obviously, we haven't ever been in these kind of times where so much suspending of matches. But, I mean, why is this first leg just still not in London? It makes no sense to me. But hopefully Liverpool can not concede here. And here's the other thing, too, that I need to look up. Is the away goal rule in this, does that matter here? Because we know it's been nicked from the Champions League. Is that nicked here? I don't know.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was thinking on top of my head, well, I know it's been nicked in the Champions League. I do not know. I do not know about that. I don't know about it. I don't know about that. Well, you look that up. If you can find that, let's go ahead and remind everybody. Of course, the comment section is open, and we go ahead and encourage you guys to go ahead and hit that like button as you're watching the show. We're, of course, going to run through all 10 games this week in Premier League, give you guys our leans and bets for every single game, and then at the end of the show, we'll reveal our official bets, the ones we've got our money behind, and we highly encourage you guys to go ahead and tail it. I'm coming off a good win yesterday. Of course, I continue to fade that Norwich squad, so coming up hot. Got a nice 2-in-1 day yesterday there with West Ham up over Norwich. Did you bet that game?
I didn't bet that game. I was really busy with work yesterday. I wasn't able to catch anything. I had like a 10-hour day.
Gotcha. All right. Well, like I said, let's go ahead and get this on so you can enjoy your Liverpool game. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off? We got Brighton and Crystal Palace on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, very tricky one that I don't want to get that involved with. Could see it going either way. I don't love Brighton at this price. I mean, look at their last 16. They've only won 2 of 16. I know that they're unbeaten in 7 of 8. It's not like they're playing poorly or anything. I mean, they're still scrapping away. And in this league, that's kind of what it's all about. You're not always going to be able to collect 3 points in this league. I mean, it's tricky. But to bet them on the money line, though, in terms of betting in general, like, they're a tough one to get behind. But then on the flip side, Palace failed to score in their last 3 on the road, 3 consecutive away defeats, and only 2 of 13 wins on the road. So for me here, I think this is probably an unders match. Still Brighton kind of struggling in front of net. Last 4 in the league at home have gone unders. So yeah, for me here, I know that Palace has played a 3-2 thriller, and most of their matches actually, when you look at Palace, in their last 6, in the FA Cup and in the league, they've all gone over 2.5. So it's kind of fighting, against the fire here. But, I would be more towards the unders camp in this one.
Or towards the under camp. I liked how you mentioned there the Crystal Palace form, because we've kind of talked about it from how significantly better at Selhurst Park. But on the road, I think you can certainly take advantage of them. You got to remember this fixture a season ago when Brighton absolutely dominated and Palace had 2 shots on target and both of them found the back of the net. One was kind of midway through the first half, and one of them was really at the death right there in FIFA time. Palace was able to snatch up a 2-1 victory. I cashed in that bet because I didn't want to pick a side, but I knew Brighton was going to have the better possession, and I thought with that possession they were going to get shots on target. So we cashed this fixture last season at Brighton, taking their over on shots in target. So I look at that same way to go. Kind of a little bit difficult to pick a side. You mentioned the over, you mentioned the under. Maybe it kind of does go underway. I lean under like you do, but how I think the game will go with Brighton kind of having the possession, I think that'll translate into shots on targets. So DraftKings normally populates those late, like in the evening before the game or the morning of. I'm going to be looking for Thursday night or early Friday morning on DraftKings shots on target, and I'm going to go ahead and take that same bet again. I'm going to look to take Brighton over 4.5. I think that's the number we got last season. Again, at cash. So to me, it'll be Brighton shots on target. We'll wait to see what that number comes in at, but that's where I'll be going ahead and leaning on the game where sides and overs, unders. I agree with you on your leans, but I think it's a little too difficult to actually put your money behind that one way or another.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you. I think that is a good angle because Brighton, their offense is so strong. Palace, like we just talked about on the road, yeah, they should be able to have 4.5 shots on target. I mean, that looks like a lovely bet. And Jason, when you kind of do your digging, I swear you are very good at it. And I think that is clearly the best angle. And just to look back on the 1-1 draw earlier in the season, I believe that this was the luck box, one of them that I had. I think this was the Malpe in the 95th.
This is the one where we went head-to-head on. It was like a Monday afternoon game. We went head-to-head on it.
It was. And Brighton had no business whatsoever. Absolutely none. They could not create anything. And then just one, I think the goalie took a quick kind of, goal kick, or it was a free kick.
Yes.
And Malpe flick on. Then he lobs it up over Guaita. And it's 1-1, and it was absolutely undeserved. Like, Palace should have had all of these. So, yeah, that's hopefully my memory serves me correct on that one. But
it's spot on. As you're describing that, I'm remembering the pain because I remember them being a goal kick, and instead of kicking it to one of the sidelines, he kicked it right in the middle of the pitch, and no Palace player had any fight to go get the ball. I remember that. You're bringing up pain, but you're spot on, and you're remembering.
Yeah. Well, at least the memory is still working a little bit up there.
What Thad asked, what about Gallagher? I looked real quick on Flash Score. They didn't say him. Do you know if Gallagher's been playing? Thad's curious about him because he's obviously their guy in the middle of the pitch.
He is their guy. I mean, I love Gallagher. I think that he is. It's like Chelsea. I'm so sick of Chelsea having these like great loanees. It's so annoying because Gallagher is brilliant. I hope that he can find a way to play on another. Maybe it's not even Palace, but somebody else other than Chelsea. Because that he'll be kind of a rotational player, but he is fantastic. And then I'm blanking now, but the striker for Southampton.
Dad's sitting there smiling. You're talking about his good depth because he's also a Chelsea supporter, so he loves you talking about good guys that are going to come back to Chelsea even stronger and better. He's loving what you're spewing over there.
For example, on premierinjuries.com, that is the website that you want to look at for injury news in the Premier League. It's the best. And I don't see Gallagher on here at all. So that, to me, normally even if they're slightly questionable, you get something out of that. I'm not seeing him on here. He's probably a full go.
Yeah, I've got him on here too as well. I use a different site, fantasyfootballscout.uk. Yeah, they've got him started on the right in the midfield of 3. It looks like Gallagher's a go. He's not even a doubt, to your point. They usually have a doubt in the percentage. I think Gallagher's a full-on go. He'll be in there.
And then, so obviously baked into this price is, like you mentioned, the link in the description. Definitely hit that on the African Cup of Nations players. But yeah, Ayew, Kouyaté, Zaha, all regular starters for Palace. Not going to be able to go here. I don't know if they have the attack really, and that Brighton, their offense.
Because Zaha still got that red card.
Well, no, he didn't.
He's in Africa. Go? Oh yeah, he's in Africa. Right.
So. Right. Yeah, so not a lot to love in terms of a Palace attack here.
Yeah.
And Brighton, they love controlling possession. They're probably going to get 65-70 here at home. Gosh, now that we spent a lot of time on this kind of match that I had no business in, I would be looking towards the home side or nothing.
It's the only girl in town on Friday. You're going to be getting in a bet. There ain't no other action. It's the only girl in town.
Exactly.
Everything looks better when you're the only girl in town. All right, let's go ahead now and move it over to Manchester City versus Chelsea. What are you seeing in this picture?
I see unders. I do. I'm liking under 2.75 here. Minus 115 is what I grabbed. Last two head-to-heads, including the Champions League finals, went unders. Three of the last four. Um, I believe that Chelsea should have enough to at least stymie this City attack. I think that the loss of Ferran Torres is something for City. I mean, it's just another player that will get 30 to 70 minutes from time to time. That is a quality player. Has now moved to Barcelona, and I just I see really this is the thing. I remember having both teams to score no as one of my best bets in the Champions League final last year, and it came in. That's another maybe good look here. Now that I'm just kind of talking about it, that's why I love this show with you, Jason. Just kind of talking through some of the angles here. Is look, whoever scores first here is going to do their damnness to shut up shop. I mean, there is, and then potentially have some counter-attacking freedom. Like if Chelsea go 1-0 up, I was shocked actually yesterday that they weren't able to score more on Spurs in the second half, because Spurs down 3-0 in a two-leg. You have Werner, you have Lukaku, two of the best counter-attacking players really in the world. And they couldn't get on the second half score sheet, which was just not normal. So let's say Chelsea go 1-0 up. They have Lukaku, Werner, Pulisic on the break, and they're going to do their best to stymie the City attack, which is obviously tough. And then City, they have the best defense in the league. If City go 1-0 up at the Etihad, which they probably will, I think that I would definitely be leaning towards City here. I think it'll be tough for Chelsea to score. And we know that we've seen their offense at times when teams are sitting back, they struggle. So yeah, both teams to score no at a plus 110. That also appeals to me. But yeah, this is under 2.75 for me.
You could almost take, with 3 of the last 4 games being 1-0, you could almost take your unit, break it in half, and if you wanted, put half on 1-0 City and put half 1-0 Chelsea. You get it at plus 650 and plus 1400. Because I think your analysis is spot on, and especially with how this table looks, I'm of the belief that the title race is already over. I can't see City going ahead and losing 10 points, even if they give up 3 points here to Chelsea. I think it's well and done. But I think you're exactly right. If Chelsea can somehow jump up 1-0, all right, maybe it's title race back on, set up shop. We obviously believe in ours. The one concern is Arrizabalaga. Like Arrizabalaga against that City attack, if you do want to maybe sit back and give City position, I would all of a sudden be nervous as hell with Arrizabalaga between the posts. Like that would be a concern. That being said, I'm still on under 2.5 at plus money, at plus 106 over at FanDuel. So, yeah. But Arrizabalaga does scare me as I say that. I mean, he scares me, man. He scares me.
That does that. I mean, because the first thing as a manager, what I'm doing if I'm playing against Chelsea, one, I know that their defense, their midfield, Conte, everything is fantastic. It's just you say, hey boys, like when we're up and around the box, like have a go at it. Like just make him feel the the shot any kind of way. Make him make some of these saves, because at one point in time he's gonna slip up and make a mistake.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. So, but I still think under 2.5 will hit, because then I think you're looking at a 1-1 game. We're looking at a 2-0 City lead if they're the one that jumps out to 1-0 lead. So I still think under 2.5.
I have this at 2-0 City.
2-0 City. Yeah, they've been dominant all season long. All right, let's go ahead now and jump it over to Burnley and Leicester. I'll go ahead and kick this one off. I struggle to see goals in this one. I mean, for Leicester, you got no Daka, you got no Vardy, you got no Iheanacho. That's obviously 3 of their attacking players, so I think they struggle to find the back of the net. And I think Burnley, with sending Chris Wood to Newcastle, I think they kind of waved the white flag. I think they know that they could have gotten the best value from him in January, selling him to a rival that maybe is competing for the Premier League, as opposed to maybe selling him in the summer when they've already now dropped in the Championship. You can get a few extra million giving him to a club that still is going to believe that they still have some fight. I think Burnley absolutely waved the white flag. They don't score a lot of goals anyways. They are really great on set pieces. That is what Chris Wood does, is he's a really good prowess up in the air. Now you send him packing. Burnley to me waved the white flag and waved the flag that says, hey, we're just going to grind 1 point. We're going to try and get 1 point at a time. And if we make it, cool. If we don't, well, we just made 20 some odd million selling Wood. We'll probably have to sell a couple other players as we're in the Championship. I like under 2.5 at minus 103. And again, with Leicester, yeah, they're leaky defense, but Burnley just doesn't have the attack. And then given how good Burnley is defensive, without Leicester, with their African Cup of Nation guys, and without Vardy due to injury, they're not going to score on that tough defense at Turf Moor. So under 2.5 at -103 for me.
Ooh, this is a tough match. You have to do a lot of unpacking here to figure out what to do because, like you mentioned, hats off to Burnley for selling Chris Wood at a high to a team that is now the richest club. They just go out, they spend it. I mean, I don't care if Burnley goes down. Like that is still the move every single time. 10 times out of 10 to sell him there. So he's out. Obviously, he's not on the team anymore. But then you look at the main and most influential Burnley player, Cornet, being at the African Cup of Nations, just scored a goal, had a fantastic goal on a free kick the other week. God, this is so. But then when you look at the other side, Leicester have got some absentees, obviously, from the AFCON. Amarte is not there. I think that he's on, I believe, Nigeria. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, let's see here. So Evans is out. Vardy's out.
The Turkish defender, however you pronounce his name, he's out.
Pereira's out. Fofana's still out. Castanye's a doubt.
What's that Turkish defender?
Looks like Soyuncu is going to be an inclusion.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like you mentioned, Daka's out. So Iheanacho, Mendy, Amarte. And then here's the thing. This is why I don't love the under here, to be honest with you, Jason. Like, this is a tricky one with Ndidi, the front screen, the guy that really muddies up the waters in the middle of the park or plays in defense for them in a makeshift role. He's not there as well. There is not a lot of quality here, and I get where you're coming from on the unders because where are the star players to make the difference? But there's a lot of key defenders really like out at this one too. Mm-hmm. And then kind of looking at the stats in general, I mean, it's hard to go against both teams to score. The last 16 on the road, Leicester, both teams to score has come in.
We've been cashing goals in their fixtures, whatever combination, whether you do both teams to score over 2.5 or just over 2 point. It's been good to both of us.
I know. And so Leicester have a good feel against Burnley. They rarely get beat against Burnley. Burnley's last 3 in all comps, over 2.5 goals. But the Cornet issue is a problem because he is their main talisman. He's their best player by a whole nother level. He's better on this. He's better than any other Burnley player by a decent amount. And so this right here, I'm going to just throw it right down the middle. Lineup check. This could be a draw, but I could see this one going either way, Jason. I think that if there's a couple little pieces that are in, I could see this one being overs. I don't know. This game stinks.
All right. Well, just to reveal my official bets, that one was a lean. That was not an official bet.
Okay. This
was a lean.
This is. I don't know how. Like on a Thursday, Friday, I don't know how you bet this match. Like you really have to dive in, and you would have to spend, I think, 30 minutes to an hour trying to figure out what lineups and try to gain an angle from that because, yeah, like I mentioned for the third time, this match stinks.
All right, let's go ahead and move on now. Before we do that, let's go ahead and jump in. Victor asked both teams to score in today's Liverpool Arsenal. We talked about at the beginning. You got to wait and see lineups for that one. So, Victor, Matt's a great follow on Twitter. You can see his handle there at the bottom. Me as well. I'm also waiting to get in a bet on that game. Both of us just waiting to see lineups. So, circle back to us.
Most likely, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Then if it's Konate, Virgil, Robertson, Trent, and Alisson, and Fabinho's in, I don't necessarily love Arsenal to score on the road at Anfield. Like, I think that they'll have their chances, but if it's somehow like that best, like back five with the front screen of Fabinho, I wouldn't love it.
Okay. All right, cool. Love that stuff right there. All right, let's go ahead and move it on right now. This one's going to be between Newcastle and Watford. I think, folks, this is the game of the weekend right here. And, yep, you heard me say that. And I know Manchester City's obviously playing Chelsea this weekend. You got Tottenham going up against Arsenal. But right here, you've got 17th place Watford up against 19th place Newcastle. That has all the making right here. And just an absolute cracker of a game. Watford comes in with 6 straight losses. That's what you're going to tell me, right? Okay, but it was City, Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham, Leicester. Every team is probably going to drop all those games up against those clubs. So not going to hold that up against Watford, especially with how they've been looking, especially with how they looked up against Chelsea. They looked pretty decent there against some other clubs. Watford, though, they've been scoring. They scored in all those games but Spurs. So, yeah, okay, you lose those games, but you're finding the back of the net. You're playing entertaining football. Both teams to score has hit in 4 of the last 5 of these games head-to-head. You've got, I don't see a draw happening in this fixture, or if it does, it's going to be like a 3-3 cracker, 2-2 cracker, because what does a draw really do for Newcastle, right? You got to start making up serious ground. A draw just, obviously keeps you at the same separation, so they're just going to keep going for it and going for it. Again, I mentioned how Watford's been able to score goals even though they've been losing. Newcastle brings in Trippier, didn't help in the FA Cup. They even played a strong lineup up against Cambridge and even went down, who's in League One. I was surprised. I was kind of surprised they threw a strong lineup, and then I was surprised with that strong lineup that they went ahead and lost to Cambridge. But Newcastle's got 1 win on the season. This is just I think just going to be an absolutely fascinating game. And Watford doesn't have a game in hand, too. I think that's even going to motivate Newcastle to get those 3 points even more because Watford has that extra game in hand. So they really need to get 3 points here. So to me, it's going to be a cracker of a game. You're going to see it fairly open. Even if somebody scores, it's not shut it down and let somebody play on the counter. This is both teams to score and over 2.5, and I couldn't be any more excited for this bet. And when I got it at plus 112, woo, love that bet at plus 112. So that's going to be that bet for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think that this match, I love getting involved with Watford overs in general. I'm trying to find some anytime goal scorer stuff here. So
and Dennis is available because there was some natural a selection call up snafu, so Dennis will be on the pitch.
Yeah, they've got Dennis at plus 300 right now.
What? Anytime?
What?
Not first time?
Anytime.
What?
Anytime. I mean, he is their best player by a mile. That one appeals because he's just great. I mean, he's the best signing of the Premier League in terms of value, no doubt. Here's the thing: he's a late fitness test. Emmanuel took a kick in the match against Tottenham, then I prefer to preserve him for the next match. It's not too serious, but I want to preserve. They've got him late fitness test, 75% on premier injuries. He's probably going to go. But then here, I mean, what about playing this?
Wait, they didn't play him against Leicester. That was the game they rested him on. So he could play against this relegation battle. They rested him against Leicester.
Okay. So that's, I mean, he needs to be going here because he's everything to them. And I mean, what about a storyline on this one? We just kind of, I clapped for Burnley for selling Chris Wood, but Chris Wood's about to make his debut for Newcastle, Jason.
Yeah.
I love a debut goal. What about a Chris Wood goal-scoring parlay in this one?
I mean, if Dennis alone is at 300, heck, combined's got to get around that 600-700.
Probably, more. Let's see. Seven.
I can't believe Dennis is 3-1. He's scoring well. I mean, basically, when you make these bets, if you're getting 300, you're saying, can this guy at least score 1 out of 3 times to cash my bet? He's going to score more than 1 out of 3 times to cash that bet. That is crazy to be at 300.
It's basically like, can he? He's going to get about 3 shots. Can he bag 1 of the 3? That type of thing. Like, he is going to have some looks here. There's no doubt about it. So I love that one. That's a nice little nugget right there. I got plus 715 on a Chris Wood, Dennis anytime goal scoring parlay. That one makes some sense. Storyline of Wood, Dennis on fire. In this match, I agree with you. I think both teams score. They have to go for it here, both of these teams. Just haven't pulled the trigger yet, really. I just it's not one that I've wanted to get involved with early, but I would agree with you, Jason, and on both teams to score and over.
Okay. All right, cool. Nice. Let's go ahead and move it over now to Norwich and Everton. Mentioned how we cashed yesterday with West Ham. We've been fading Norwich a ton. It's just finding the right angle. Oh, that angle is under 0.5 goals scored. I wouldn't bet that in this match because Everton's been really poor, but It's because Everton's been so poor themselves. I kind of left this game alone. I couldn't figure it out. Will Norwich score? Probably. I think that even though they've only got 8 goals on the season in 20 matches, I think this is their opportunity at home where they could probably actually find the back of the net. I think Everton finds the back of the net, although I think Richarlison is out, if I remember correctly from my research. But I think they'll still be able to get past Norwich. I mean, everybody gets goals past Norwich, so no real concern there. So maybe you do look at both teams to score. That could be a good play. But I've collected so much money this season fading Norwich. I can't put my money on them to actually score a goal. But I do think they actually score a goal here at home.
Two teams I don't want to bet on.
No.
I mean, these are two teams I want to fade. So when they come head to head, it's like,
yeah,
I just kind of skip over it. So I'm like trying to even find the angles. Yes, Richarlison is most likely out. Yerry Mina out. Iwobi's at the AFCON. Looks like Calvert-Lewin might go. Like, that would be my bet, probably, Jason. Would be if Calvert-Lewin starts, I would probably take him at an anytime goal score. That would be the one angle that I would really want to back. I mean, yes, I agree with you too. Like, I think that if there ever is a time, it's now for Norwich to score a goal and do something. I mean, they can. When you take these two lineups and you put them head to head, you're not going to tell me that like Everton is much better. Like, it's marginal at best. So for me here, this is a clear stay away. And I mean, maybe if Lewin's in the lineup and he's getting 75, 80, like, if the price is decent, it's they're going to create some chances against Norwich.
Yeah, I just looked at the price. It's at plus 145. I think with how leaky Norwich is, if he's in that lineup, I would probably go ahead and grab that at plus 145. Yeah. I got no problem with that.
Penalty, anything.
Oh, don't say penalty. He burned me last time. He hit it way up over the bar. Don't say penalty. I hit him in an anytime goal scoring parlay, and he smashed it up in a row Z. That penalty. Oh, that irritated me. Yeah, but no, you're right. He's at least taking the penalty kicks.
Yeah, he's at least taking that.
And he's going to make them more times than not. Of course, the one time I bet him, he wants to smash it in a row Z. Bitter. All right, let's go ahead now, move it over now. We're Wolves, Southampton. This is contracting styles, and you kind of mentioned it there with, I think it was when you said Burnley Leicester, because Wolves' home games are averaging 1.3 goals. Southampton on the road, their goals are averaging 3.2. I want to look at offsides right here. Southampton only has 17 offsides so far on the season. Wolves has 37 offsides. And even when Southampton plays on the road, they're still not getting offsides. You look them up when they don't have possession. They don't hit you on the counter, so they don't draw offsides with pacey guys up top. They don't really have that. So I'm going to, again, just like I kind of mentioned with Brighton, you kind of got to wait for DraftKings to give us the number. I'm going to be looking at offsides in this game in some angle where, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a money line or a -1, whatever DraftKings gives us, but that's a huge discrepancy there of 20 offsides. I'm going to go ahead and do that because otherwise, with how Wolves are just good at home, again, 1.3, Southampton on the road at 3.2, which style of game is going to outplay? I don't know. Nothing I want to put my money on when it's that big of a discrepancy.
You know what it all is Raul Jimenez, man. That guy loves to freaking jump and try to catch a defender slipping, but it's like, dude, you're off. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing here? He's been in just poor form ever since the head injury. I kind of feel for him a little bit. I think, okay, so both of these teams are in pretty good form. Like, I don't think
Wolves definitely
want to go for, yeah, Wolves definitely. Southampton though they've been pretty good. Like, I think that they're they're not really, like, they're unbeaten in their last 3-2. I mean, and yeah, the 4-1 against Brentford, that should give them a bit of confidence. I mean, when you're looking at, this is what I'm talking about, Southampton unbeaten in their last 5 in home, in the league, and in the FA Cup. So they're a tough team to beat right now. Like, their defense is pretty good, and I think that this is kind of a stone cold unders match. I mean, this is why you see under 2.5 at -170.
Right.
So you would have to really gain the value. You might want to stretch it to 2.25. I think that this is unders. I think that's the right side. I would not want to be on overs here at all. I just don't think the quality in front of net is all there, and I think the defenses are very solid. I'll tell you what the best bet is here, Jason. and this one might get added to my card after really looking at it while you were talking. This is a first half draw. This is a 0-0 at halftime. And the stats, this is a bet that I've loved over the last probably 2 or 3 seasons. Wolves at halftime. This was a staple diet for me about this time last season and the season even before. I was betting it just blindly. And look at it, unbeaten run at halftime for Wolves in their last 15. I mean, that's another one too. Like, wow. If you love it, like maybe you could probably find a draw no bet on Wolves in the first half. Even Wolves first half money line is plus 190. But I like Southampton. I think that they're going to be able to hang tough here. I think this is a clear 0-0. And if you do bet the 0-0, you would get a plus price instead of this minus 105. Yeah, the books know here. Pricing this out as a favorite at halftime as the draw, it makes total sense.
Nice. You bring up Raul Jimenez. The last time I was on this show and I was talking offsides, I talked about this big discrepancy, and then I ended up giving out a player prop. Remember I took Ronaldo, and he got us a cash because, of course, he's slow and always jumps just like Raul Jimenez. Well, I just looked, points bet at plus 250 to go ahead and jump offsides twice now. He's got to do it twice. At Ronaldo, it was once for like minus 134, I think was what we got that at. But he's going to do it once. I agree with you. Can he do it twice to 2.5 double my money? Maybe that'll go. So just look for me on Twitter. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a whole match offside.
What do they have? What do they have on the one?
Minus 200.
I mean, it's
going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's going to hit. So
that's going to hit. Yeah. So I'm going to be on that. Maybe I'll do Raul Jimenez player prop. Maybe I'll do the game. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's see. We got about 3 more matches here or 4. Let's see. Let's do Villa versus Manchester United. I'll go and kick this one off, being the Manchester United guy. I just see a replay from the FA Cup. We went ahead and cashed under 2.5 in that with the 1-0 goal. You saw it from both sides. There was no real creativity. That was a boring game. I punished myself for nearly 2 hours watching that game. I just don't see it that much different because you had 8 lineups, right? That wasn't a FA Cup. Let's go ahead and throw some youngsters out there. That was both teams throwing their guys out there, and you got a boring 1-0 game. I see the same thing happening. So at plus money again, I'm making the exact same bet under 2.5. Now it comes in better here at Villa because United may play more on the counter, and I just like Villa's back 4. They're not going to be broken down on the counter if that's what they want to do on the road. So I like even more that it's at Villa. So under 2.5 at plus money for me all day.
This is so you talked me into the under because I remember we were DMing about that match, and I said I liked Villa on the double chance, and to be fair, like after watching the whole thing, I bet the under with you, and I didn't go double chance, so I felt happy about that. I ended up winning instead of losing, but then after watching the entire match, like Villa double chance was still the right side. Like they were better. I mean, I think that Villa
definitely
was
the second half.
Better.
Definitely the second half.
I mean, they were at least throwing some shots, like testing De Gea. But I agree with you here, okay? So I think that when you're getting this match and you're getting 2 of the best shot stoppers in the league, that is what you love about the under here. It's not that the defense, like I think that Villa's defense is better. I think that both of these teams will have some decent looks. But, man, it's great having your trust in De Gea and Emi Martinez in this one. Like, they're going to keep your under 2.5 live for as long as possible because you really have to slot one to get it by these guys. So, yeah, I mean, because it was off that, that was just a really great cross from Fred to McTominay. It was just picture perfect. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing that Martinez could do about that. But you see, like, when shots and, like, anything but, like, a header close in the 6 box, like, these guys are saving this stuff, man. I mean, it took Moutinho, he had to perfectly slot one in the corner for Wolves to beat United the other week. So I completely agree with you. I think that this is dog, and I think that this is under, and I'm going with the dog here. I'm going with Villa plus a quarter. I think that they get some revenge. I think that they were clearly the better side at Old Trafford. I watched the entire match. And then maybe they can bring on a couple of new debuts. I mean, maybe Coutinho and Lucas Digne find a way into this match at some point in time and create a little bit of a spark for Villa. Look, I know United, they have the name. Jason's got the jersey on. But I think that when you seriously stack up these 11s, and you look at some of the midfield and everything, I think these two teams are like really equal. And the books clearly indicate that too. I mean, they're showing, Villa are just a slight dog here. So I've stretched this to plus a quarter, and that's at minus 125. And I'm in full agreement. I don't know why the over is slightly favored over the under in this one. This is an under. This is a similar head-to-head. Two managers that are extremely pragmatic. This is going to be a double bet for me, Jason. This is going to turn into Villa plus a quarter and under 2.5.
Villa's scaring me. They're making some great signings. Boy, they look. I know the Coutinho one was only on loan. I'm pretty sure there was no obligation to buy, if I recall correctly. But still, they're
I think they're. Yeah, no, it's an option. It's an option for 40 million euros.
For how much?
For 40.
40. Wow, 40. That club is in debt big time. If you're selling Coutinho for 40 million, he's not that. He hasn't fallen off the cliff. I mean, he's hardly on the pitch, but I don't think he's fallen off the cliff that bad.
I think so too. That's where I'm at. Like I think that that's probably the correct price on Coutinho. Actually, I think that's actually fair market, and I think that he could still rediscover his form under Gerrard for sure and make that worthwhile. Maybe he is still a 65. Like, I don't think he's a $20 million player, though. I'll say that for sure. I think he's still got all the quality in the world. And guess what, Jason? He's got a lot to prove too, because he wants to make that Brazilian World Cup squad.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be one of the better players this entire second half. He's gonna come in and be really, really good. All right, we got Liverpool Brentford up next. You want to kick it off?
Revenge match. I mean, this is. Are we looking for revenge?
That was a great game, 3-3 thriller.
It was one of the best matches of the season. I remember I was playing golf that day, so I didn't really catch everything, but I remember looking back, seeing the goals, just chaotic as ever. But yeah, I mean, Brentford, some of the injuries, you can see how they're not that deep. That's where they'll really want to try and strengthen next season. Just get another piece at each position type of situation where they, if they have these injuries and go down, that they're still good. I think that Southampton were just extremely clinical on their night. FanDuel had a great boost that I hit, $50 max, but it was plus 410 or something on Southampton to win and both teams to score. That was a good one that I just was like, yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I think that it could happen, so I'm going to roll with it. And this is tough though, Jason. I mean, no Salah, no Mane.
No Salah, no Mane. There is a drop-off, but I feel comfortable leaning on Firmino and Jota, though. I mean, yes, there's a drop-off, but I'm okay.
It's going to be Firmino, Jota, and Minamino. I think that we're going to see that three today as well. I think it's going to be those three, Minamino, Jota, Firmino. I think we're going to see Fabinho, Henderson, maybe Curtis Jones. And, yeah, I mean, so let's say that is the lineup here. Let's say it is Firmino, Jota, Minamino, Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and then it's Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, Allison. That's strong, and that's where I would say that they would deserve to still be a minus 350 favorite. But yeah, things are going to change. I mean, they're going to need in these next 2-3 matches without those guys, they're going to need to change their game plan. They're going to need to keep it tighter and get back to being I'm kind of sick of Liverpool conceding so many. They need to get back to being a 1-0 team. That is when when Van Dijk and Matip or Konate are clicking, and that is when they're at their best. And yeah, I'd say the only way that you could really find value on Liverpool would be I don't know, a halftime, full time, or I don't even think that's a great price. I need to dive in. So I mean, just kind of let me look at this real quick, Jason, and then you maybe just talk about this match, what you feel.
Yeah, my thoughts were, obviously losing Mane, Salah, like I said there a few seconds ago, but I'm fine with Firmino and Jota coming in. Brentford's away form, 2-4-3, goal differentials 11-14. Liverpool's obviously undefeated at Anfield so far this season, so I mean Liverpool should certainly have the upper hand in this matchup. I see them getting the 3 points, even though it may not be as goal heavy without Mane and Salah. They should certainly get it done. Their reverse fixture does put me off and scare me off just enough where I actually did not bet this game. I'm a little too nervous with how Liverpool's been giving up goals, and then without Mane and Salah, that just gave me just enough hesitation where I like enough other games on this card. I actually didn't put in a bet because, if you do Liverpool and over 1.5, that's at like minus 200. I just couldn't get the value at what I needed to feel comfortable to go ahead and bet it. So, yeah, no bet for me here on this Liverpool game. Maybe if they come out and the same lineup they're going to throw out today is going to be on, I think this game is going to be Sunday, then maybe I go ahead and I change my opinion. But as of now, I don't have a bet on this game. And really because of all the juiciness of this, I really didn't even put out a lean on this as well.
Yeah, I didn't look at it that much because I think a lot of these times, like you see it, Liverpool at home, you're like minus 330. It's like I just skip. Mm-hmm. So here's when I really dive in. Here are the plays that I think would be the best. And it would be Liverpool and under 3.5 goals would be at plus 110. That makes some sense. I think that they don't have the firepower with Mane, Salah, and they're going to have to change how they do things and play tighter, lower scoring matches and grind them out again. And I trust still in Van Dijk to be able to figure it out here and keep a clean sheet, or at worst, 2-1 gets the job done there. That one appeals. This one also makes sense. The price isn't great, but Liverpool team total goals under 2.5 at minus 165. You might be able to shop around, find a 150. Like, did Liverpool really score 3 here? Like, Brentford are going to keep it extremely tight. They're going to be in a good shape on the road here. And
Southampton just got 4 on them Tuesday on the road. Liverpool's going to be better.
Southampton were at home. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Brentford was on the road.
Yeah, true.
Their fullbacks are obviously way better at Liverpool.
I know. So yeah, that one, especially because of the price of minus 165, like I wouldn't be on that one. But that one does make sense. And then the last one, there is Liverpool halftime, full-time. Say the crowd comes out, gets behind them. It's at minus 125 on a halftime, full-time. That one makes some sense. And then the last one that would make some sense would be Jota, anytime goal scorer at plus 100. Like, without the two main men, like, he's going to have to step in. But you just don't really know. It could easily be Firmino. It could be Minamino. But, yeah, it would be Jota. Even money, like, he's world class, so I think that would be a decent look.
I was just about to ask you because I actually see them both in front of me right now at plus 120 for Firmino and Jota. Who's going to take penalty kicks? Because when they're both at the same money and they're both at the same position, even though I like Jota, I generally take the one that's going to take PK. So with no Salah, who's the spot taker?
Actually, you want a really sneaky one? I know exactly.
Oh, it's a Henderson?
No.
Oh.
This is actually, now I'm so
Trent?
glad that you just said that. No. Keep going. I love this game. I know who it is too, and unless it's obvious it's Milner.
Milner. Milner's on. If it's Milner,
if
right?
He starts. He's probably 50-50 to be a starter in this match. So let's say Milner doesn't start. So let's say Milner does start. That actually is a pretty good bet. But let's say he doesn't start. I know who it is. I don't think it's going to be Jota. I know who it is, and it is going to be. And they kind of have him priced out low here. And that makes some sense why. It's Fabinho. Fabinho is a expert level penalty taker. I'm actually surprised, Jason, that he isn't the main man taking the pens anymore. It's just because Salah has been in this insane run and he has hit so many in a row until he just missed recently. Look at Fabinho. Dive in. I'm not even kidding you. Dive in on Fabinho's penalty taking record. He used to be the guy that took them at Monaco back when they were superstars, and he is great. He just took one and made it. It was in the FA Cup. He was the guy that got the nod on it. So this is a great one, actually. Lineup check, and let's say Milner's out, Fabinho's in. Fabinho will be the one to take that pen. I'm almost certain of it. I don't think it'll be Jota. And then if Milner's in, it's always Milner, and you can find him at a 3 plus 350 plus 400 range.
I got Fabinho at plus 700. So maybe worth a little
Where,
sprinkle.
where? See, like that's where like I'm looking at Barstool because they do the best, like at least on Asian handicap stuff for me. Like when I'm quickly just trying to pull up info,
FanDuel.
plus 700
FanDuel.
on like that right there, like
Or the
that
sprinkle.
one. Like I'm saying, be alert on the lineups. What this match
Wow.
is at 9 a.m. So like I'm saying, you wake up 8 a.m. You check the lineups, and this actually that turns into maybe the best bet of this match, Jason. I'm serious because right when that lineup drops, you don't see Milner, you see Fabinho, 801 pop, 7-1. That probably shrinks a little bit. Like that is, oh my God, that's value because will he score any other way? He's fantastic from outside the box. He'll probably get one shot, maybe it's two, and he's got to be extremely clinical, which he's got a laser. But I am telling you, go and research Fabinho's penalty kick taking record. It is phenomenal. He does when he gets the opportunity. I love his chances.
All right, two things real quick. This is why, guys, you've got to line shop on Barstools. Fabinho's plus 275. FanDuel's plus 700. You've got to line shop. And second, you mentioned Salah. You mentioned his missed penalty kick. I was on him that day to, I think, score 2 goals, and like that was his second goal. So like Calvert-Lewin wants to screw me and miss a penalty kick. And Salah, if I recall correctly, that was very poorly hit. That was like right in the middle, comfortable height, wasn't in a corner, wasn't down the middle. It was everything between where the middle of the goal and the middle between the ground and the post. That was like one of the worst PKs I've ever seen Salah hit. And of course, that day I'm on him. I can't remember, goal scorer, 2+, whatever it was. That PK hurt me.
You want some like brutal honesty from a Liverpool fan? Is that Salah, yes, he's had a really solid penalty kick taking record in the last like 2 years. But he is not the best. He's not the best penalty taker on this team. Milner and Fabinho are clearly a much higher level. Like, if those two players are in, like, I still think actually, like, it's just been lucky for Salah that Milner hasn't been in so many matches over the last year. But I'm almost certain if Salah's in the match and Milner's in the match, Milner still gets it. And
I remember now.
And I feel like Fabinho should deserve to get it over Salah. I truly feel that way as a Liverpool fan. Fabinho should be on penalties for this team. Go look at the record. It's fantastic. I remember, I think from like even playing FIFA or something, it was like penalty kick specialist, Fabinho. Like just little things back from like 5 years ago. Like Fabinho is incredible at pens.
Just looked it up. That was the game where they lost to Leicester 1-0. Yeah, that game lost me money. Salah and his penalty. All right, let's go ahead and move it on. We got 2 more. We've got West Ham Leeds. I'll kick it off here, just like I talked about Villa and Manchester United being kind of a run back there from the FA Cup. These 2 teams just went at it in the FA Cup. I think this one's going to also be kind of a run back. I know West Ham had a pretty strong lineup that day. Leeds decided to go ahead and rest a couple people. I think that's largely because they're kind of near the drop right there. But I still see it being, a West Ham win. This one's going to be this one's in London, so this one's going to be at West Ham. West Ham's by far the better team, coming off a good performance yesterday up against Norwich, getting the win right there. Leeds has been terrible on the road. Their record is 1-3-5. Their goal differential is 8-21, and there's 9 games. I don't see a lot changing, but I've got a different angle from this game. My angle in this game is going to be cards. Who has the most cards in the Premier League? That's Leeds with 52. Who has the least amount of cards? That's West Ham with 22. So you got first 20th going on at it, and almost twice as much. Again, once these sports books populate some sort of card information, I'll be on Leeds to have more cards than West Ham in some fashion. That's a huge discrepancy when talking first 20th, and also twice as more. So, all right, that'll be my lean in this game. It'll be Leeds cards in some fashion.
I'm trying to find this stupid Fabinho thing, Jason. Like, so there's an article. Fabinho is the best penalty taker of the last decade, and here's proof. He's only missed 1 penalty. Here he is. So he's 17 for 18. I think in his entire career. And at one point in time, he was the pen taker for Monaco. So I'm done with the Fabinho thing. I think he's only missed one in his entire career. So, okay, so back to
I'll
it.
do everybody a
What
favor here on the show, and I won't bet that. You guys go ahead and get that bet in. I've been
I
jinxed.
I swear if no Milner, like I want that 7-1. I want it. So, we're talking about West Ham and Leeds here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, this is just West Ham are better at pretty much every position. Let's kind of just check because I still think that Leeds have this like potential in them to be able to pull off some shockers. But look, I mean, still no Phillips, no Cooper. That right there, like no Phillips, no Cooper. I don't want anything to do with them. Bamford's still hobbled. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I think West Ham like to score in both halves. Like I haven't dug in a ton on this one, but yeah. So I would just say pass for right now. But yeah, I mean West Ham are clearly better.
All right, let's go ahead and talk then the North London Derby, which is going to be the last match here on the show, and then we'll give you our official bets for match week number 22. It's Spurs versus Arsenal. You got Spurs and Conte. They are cruising in the league, maybe getting their ass kicked there in the EFL Cup by Chelsea, but they're at least getting performances. They obviously haven't lost up under Conte in the league. Not the greatest of all performances, but they're getting results, and that's obviously what you need as they fight for the top four, and they've got just as good as chance as anybody because they've got games in hand. Remember, they lost games due to it being a snowy fixture there against Burnley, and then they had COVID run through their club, so they've got multiple games in hand. They're looking really good to be in that top four position here at the end of the season. Meanwhile, Arsenal is hot. We'll see what they do today up against Liverpool, but boy, are they one of the hottest teams. Here, let me give you guys last form, though. Last five, these teams are second and third in the Premier League table. If you want to stretch that to the last 10 games, these teams will be third and fourth in the Premier League table. There is not a lot separating these clubs since Conte walked into this team. Form is bang on. Goal differential is also pretty bang on. Spurs are 10 and 3. Arsenal is 15 and 3, so neither team is really giving it up. Scoring, okay, edge does go to Arsenal. I'm really conflicted on this game because of form, because of Conte here in the league. Tough one for me. I could see this being low scoring. I could see this being both teams to score. I could see this being a draw. I could see somebody scraping out a win. I don't see it being high scoring, though. I just told you that these teams' goal differential, both of them are 3 goals conceded. That's the one angle I know that won't happen, but anything else, I'm completely conflicted on, so no bet for me.
Okay, so personally, just from what I've been watching over the last few weeks, I think that Tottenham. Whenever I look at their lineup, it looks so bad. I think that their midfield is terrible. They don't have the players to really get it into the prolific Harry Kane, and Kane is an amazing goal scorer, but he's not like a guy that can just do it all by himself. He needs the service, and he doesn't get it with this team. I mean, this team sucks, Jason. I think that Tottenham are bad. I get that they are in decent form, but like, who have they really beaten in that time? I know that they had a 2-2 draw against Liverpool, which was somewhat impressive. They outplayed them. But here's another reason too: is the best player on Spurs. I don't know if it is Harry Kane. I think it's Son, and he's injured. He's out, and that just it takes away so much of their counter-attacking ability. Arsenal on the flip side, yes, like losing Thomas Partey to the African Cup of Nations like is a pretty big blow. Like their midfield definitely kind of takes a step down and almost gets close to that like Spurs midfield, which probably muddies the waters up in this one a bit. And this one is I'm starting to just after, reading through some of these injury stuff, it's going to be very interesting to see what lineup Arsenal throw out today in the next 30 to 45 minutes, essentially. Tomiyasu is a 50-50 to go today. Smith Rowe is a 50-50. Odegaard is a 50-50. Xhaka is a late fitness test today. So I'm sure that I think Xhaka is going to play. But I would love to see Arsenal rest some of these players like Tomiyasu, Rowe, Odegaard. Let's not forget, like this League Cup, the semi is nice for Arsenal. Yeah, it's cool, but they only care about one thing this year. It is getting in the top 4. Like they don't want to be in this competition. I know it's the League Cup, and it's actually somewhat easy to get to the semis and stuff. And once you get to the semis, you want to go on and get to the final and win and stuff. I get that, but Arteta's main goal on this season has always been the same. It's getting the top 4. So that's just a little nugget of info. Like I think that some of these players are probably going to miss today. Arsenal might be rolling out some inexperienced youngsters in a sense, and we'll see how that plays out today. But for this match, like I want to see Tomiyasu. I need to see Smith Rowe. I want to see Odegaard, and I need Xhaka in there because Partey's out, and that really sucks because I don't like Xhaka. But I just think when you stack these two teams up head to head, like I know that the slight managerial advantage goes to Tottenham, so maybe I'm backtracking a little bit because I have Arsenal already locked in as a 2-unit bet on a plus a quarter because I just don't see them getting beat here. And I also like Arsenal to come out of the traps like in a halftime, full-time situation at a big price. But, Partey, that's kind of an issue. But with no Son, like, where are Spurs? Like, where's the creativity here? Like, I don't know. It's always a great matchup here. So I would just say probably temper a little bit of the expectations. I can always take this maybe down back to a 1-unit play, but I'll wait all the way until I see some lineups here. I still think that Arsenal's lineup will be stronger. If they have like Gabriel, Ben White, I am a big believer in Tomiyasu. Like I hope that Tomiyasu rests today. I hope they rest him and say, this EFL Cup semi, like it's great, but we need you for the biggest match of our season, our main rival. We're right in the thick of things in this top 4. You're going to rest today, and you're going to be on the bench, and you're going to start against Spurs. And then, and that back 4, back 5, if it's strong enough, like, and then they have Odegaard and Lacazette and Smith Rowe and who am I blanking on? The best player on Arsenal, Saka. Like they're better. Like you're gonna notice it in the lineups. You're gonna be like, okay, Arsenal definitely have that like slight edge, and they're on the road. But yeah, I have to be with Arsenal. I do not like what I'm seeing from Tottenham at all.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Tottenham on the pitch, large in part, but I'm also loving what they're doing in the transfer window. They're about to waste $20 million on Adama Traore. They're going to waste $20 million on a guy that just gets oiled up and runs like hell down the flanks because he don't do anything else. He can't service, he can't send in a service, and he can't finish. He just gets oiled up and runs down the hill. That's all he does.
So I know exactly why. Okay, so actually, here's why I think it's a good buy, Jason. Okay, because Conte has been known for years he buys wingbacks. He bought.
He wants to play him in a wingback. Have you ever seen that guy get back and play defense? Are you kidding me? That is a terrible buy. I hope they spend $20 million, and he's shit. That guy's terrible.
He's going to play the right wingback position for Spurs. Like,
love it.
He loves to just buy these like really pacey players that can at least have a cross on them. If he can. Okay, Conte's a guy, though, that has, like, the tactical masterclass to maybe be able to say, look, Adame, like, lay off a little bit of the lotion and oil here. And, like, let's get down to actually, like, playing a little bit of defense. Because, like, I'm telling you what, like, Adame won't see the pitch if he doesn't play like a defense. He just won't. So, yes, then in that situation it would be a waste. But that kid has got serious talent. And if there's anyone that can bring him out of that, it's Conte. And it's that right wing back position. He's done it for years now. Conte has bought some of these players and transformed them into like world-class players at the wing back position. He has. He's that good of a manager. Traore has that much talent. He could be. In FIFA back like 5-6 years ago, I'm used to be pretty good at it. I don't really play it as much anymore, but I was damn good. Like I would play on the what is it, like, whatever, the ultimate team, and I literally would have Traore, and I would play a back 3, back 5, and Traore was my right wing back.
Wow.
Because he was the fastest player in the game, 99 speed. I swear, if there's anyone that can unlock his talent, it is Conte.
He cannot cross. He's never gotten in a good finich. He just races like hell, gets to the end, and can't cross.
He had a ton of assists last year. He can't play like any bit on. He can't do anything with his left foot, but he's got a good right boot cross.
Have you ever seen him finish? Does he like get a goal? Does he ever get a goal?
I don't want anything. That's the thing, is he is the perfect guy. All you tell this guy to do is go up and down, up and down, and just cross and cross and cross.
As people slide off of him.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we need to get some kind of like good, like oiled up, like meme with a Dom.
Right.
You and me and a Dom. We're all just like sitting oiled up together.
That guy. Don't like anything about him. All right, let's go ahead now and reveal our official bets. These are the ones we're rolling with Matchweek 22. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Matt's a great follow leading up to games once lineups come out. And then my man fires off some exceptional live bets. Matt, why don't you go ahead and start it off? What are you rolling with this weekend?
City Chelsea. Top 4 clash. I'm going unders. Under 2.75, -115. Arsenal plus a quarter at -135. That's a 2-unit bet. I do not love what I'm seeing from Spurs, but it could turn. I'm betting Arsenal no matter what, in a sense. Like, I already have the play locked in. If the lineup looks like really poor, then maybe I could take it down to a 1-unit. This line isn't going anywhere, so you've got time. I don't see that line moving too much. I put in an Arsenal halftime, full-time at +375. That is a half-unit play on the +375, but I just think that they're going to want to come out, attack there, and try to grab a goal. And I swear, I think if Arsenal score 1, it's probably enough. I mean, look at how Tottenham just got blanked home and away against Spurs or against Chelsea, and they couldn't create jack shit. So if Arsenal score an early goal, I think this match could be over. And then Villa plus a quarter against your United, and I also really like that under, like you do as well, on the Villa United.
Nice. My bad for leaving off that half-unit wager right there. Let me go ahead and get you my bets. I'm doing Newcastle Watford. Both teams will score an over 2.5 at +112. Aston Villa and United will play under 2.5 at even money. Chelsea City, right with you, at under 2.5 at plus money at +106. And then come back to me on Twitter. Just the sportsbooks don't give us those numbers, but I'll be on Brighton shots on target in some fashion on that Wolves-Southampton game. Look, told you guys about how Wolves have all the offsides advantages in terms of getting offside, so I'll be on that in some fashion. And then hard to stay away with the team that gets the most cards, going up against the team that receives the least amount of cards. So I'll be on West Ham Leeds cards in some fashion as well once we get those numbers. So just make sure you're following us on Twitter. But those are our official bets for match week number 22. And most of all, it just feels good being back up in here with you, talking some football and Premier League action, Matt. I've enjoyed today's show.
Me too. Yeah, an hour long. I love it. I think it was jam-packed with just a ton of little nuggets, and you can see just our process really, even like as the show goes on, just trying to dive in and find every little piece of information that we can for you.
Yeah, appreciate everybody with the likes. Appreciate everybody with the comments. Hit that like button on your way out if for some reason you haven't. Tail these bets. We look forward to talking about all these winners next week and doing match week number 23. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time, Matt.
Thanks, Jason.